Welcome. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Christina Warren. It is my pleasure to welcome you here to the Music Mansion. I'm the artist in residence here this spring, and this is very happily our third of 5 First Friday concerts. Woo! All right, yes. Tonight, as you know, you are here to hear the wonderful Joy Guidry, and let me tell you a little about Joy. Radical self-love, compassion, laughter, and the drive to amplify Black art makers and noisemakers comprise the core of New York-based bassoonist and composer Joy Guidry's work. Their performances have been hailed by the San Diego Tribune as lyrical and haunting, hair-raising and unsettling, a versatile improviser and a composer of experimental, daring new works. Joy's own music channels their inner child in honor of their ancestors and predecessors. Joy holds a bachelor's degree in Bassoon Performance from the Peabody Conservatory and a Graduate Performance Diploma from Manus. They have performed with quite a few people: International Contemporary Ensemble, Alarm Will Sound, etc. Have been featured soloist with Yvette Jackson. They have been commissioned by National Sawdust, Long Beach Opera, Jack Quartet, etc. Festivals including Spoleto Festival, Banff, and Lucerne Festival coming up, I believe, or recently. And Guidry is a finalist for the 2021 Berlin Prize for Young Artists, taking place in Berlin, Germany later this year. Please join me in welcoming Joy Guidry.
How are y'all today? Yay. Same. Thank you. It's my friend Dylan Mackay. He went to Central St. Martin's in London, and he's like a baddie. Like, anytime I want a new look, I'm just like, what are you doing? So, and he just makes it. Yeah, he works at Helmet Lane now, but he styles a lot and works with Kelsey Lou, if you know Kelsey Lou, the musician. So yeah, look him up, Dylan Mackay. Let's see. So yeah, tonight is going to be a concert of my album. That's what I've been touring a lot since February. It's called Radical Acceptance, and it's 9 tracks of 9 different things I've had to radically accept in my life. I've had to radically accept that the world will not love me the way I love myself. That's not self-deprecating, it just is what it is. I cannot change my childhood. I cannot change the fact that I have bipolar disorder. I cannot change the fact that I fell in love with someone who's an asshole. What else? Just so many things like that. So it just, during the pandemic, I started going back to therapy and taking medication, and it's like why I am standing in front of you on 2 feet today, because it was a wild time. Yeah. And I took this test with my therapist, and she was like, you got 57 points out of 60. And I was like, this does not seem good. And it was for PTSD. And I was like, wow, okay. Didn't know I had that. So she started teaching me about radically accepting things in my life. And it turned into this big project. So a lot of it really is me telling different stories. And let's see here. Okay. So we'll be all good to go. Cool. Okay. But some of the stories that I feel like I have to tell are kind of my own stories, because I feel like a lot of times people, especially white people, try to tell our stories and that shit never goes well. But the biggest thing I've thought about this week is the currency that comes with different bodies. I feel like we try to all think we're more progressive than we are and say we love our bodies, we're body positive, we accept everyone the way they look. But if you go on people's Tinder, it doesn't say the same thing. If you really think your body doesn't hold more value than the other, why do you have a shirtless picture? Why are you in a bikini? Why are you in these things? You may look great, and we all look great in them, but you know why you're doing it, because your body has more currency. It is worth more in this country. And that's the funny thing to me, because when I am in the States, so I live here, but when I'm working or traveling and things like that, like, it's hard to feel hot when you don't get external validation. And like, I love myself. I'm out here like my titties are out. You know, obviously I think I look great, but we call it European beauty standards. But when I go to Europe, it is a different story. You know, so it's so confusing, and it's so frustrating how in this country, when you are fat, when you're black, when you're trans, when you're queer, all of these things, and if you're all of those things combined, and you're out here living your life, being free, loving yourself, people hate that. They want to see you struggle because they've worked so hard to be skinny. They've worked so hard and only ate flavorless chicken and broccoli every day and take, creatine is the hot thing right now, you know, and they should have happiness. They have the abs. I don't have abs, but I have a fat ass, and I worked hard for it, you know, and I'm happy about that, and I move on with my life because, you know, Mama's been eating these last couple weeks because touring is wild, but I still love myself, and I do kind of beat myself up every so often and look in the mirror. It's like, you did pay for that Peloton, like, we got to use it, you know, because I haven't been on it for 2 weeks, and I've definitely gained some weight. But what's wrong with that? I am depressed. We are probably all depressed. The last thing we should really be worrying about is our weight. Like, I don't know, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating, but also the fact of, like, my gender, I'm non-binary, but I don't owe any of you androgyny. I'm not the skinny white, I don't even know, like, that image of non-binary. I know it is because I know Rizdy is here, so I know you see it. So no shade. I went to Hopkins. Like, I go to new school now. It's all over Parsons. So, but it's frustrating because I've had people tell me, like, well, you don't look trans, and I was like, oh my God, you don't look like you have a black eye right now, but you will, you know? So it's just so frustrating how much white supremacy is entrenched in every single thing. And someone yesterday posted and talked about transness, and, like, you know, it is trans day of visibility, but also that comes from colonization. There were always many, many different types of genders before we got here into the binary. And I don't know, it is frustrating in many different ways because it seems in any capacity of my life where I make 5 to 10 steps forward of loving myself, the world will try to push me back because I'm not falling in their line with capitalism. I'm not giving into diet culture. What are other things? Oh, I refuse to buy their shitty brands. The fact that, like, I get custom clothes now, but I'm not gonna look like a Meemaw. You know, I mean, no shade to the Meemaws, but I'm 26. So I have a long time before I start wearing muumuus. But I don't know if y'all have ever seen a lot of fashion for fat people. It's potato sacks. Like, it's not comfortable, it's not pretty. You cannot feel your best in that. If you don't look good, you're not gonna feel good. I mean, I'm not trying to project, but that's just how I am. But yeah, so that's the stories that I kind of want to get into in this album. And essentially, we all just deserve so much more. But I think it's just always important to remember to just shut the fuck up. You know, if you have anything, you look at someone and you have an opinion about how they look like or how they talk, just shut the fuck up. I think that is the easiest thing to do in today's time.
for myself in the day, I pray. And the thing I pray for the most is peace. I pray to make peace with my past. I pray to feel love, to be able to accept love. Because I was never taught that. The things I were taught is how to hate my body. I'll just never forget when, my family would slip diet pills in my food, where I was worried about counting Weight Watchers points before I knew how to drive. There's so many moments where I have to pray for love. I have to pray for peace, because I didn't have those things growing up. The little person inside of me has so much healing to do, and I have to give it as much love and care as I humanly can, because I don't know how to do it. So I have to pray, I have to learn, I have to do so much work to be my own parent still at 27, because that little person inside of me is so damaged, is still so hurt. We've made a long progress, but it's I don't know, I just need peace. I want peace in my life. There's nothing more than I want than peace in my life. I want to know how to love myself. I want to know how to love others. I want to know how to accept love. I want to know how to grow with someone else. It could be a friend, it could be a lover, a partner. I want to see myself in a better place. Extremely valid, and it's not that size doesn't matter when it comes to your body. No, your fat ass body is beautiful as fuck. I just remember seeing this TikTok, and this woman was like, trying to pull her shirt over her fupa and like all this kind of stuff, and all this different kind of shit. And she was like, "Babe, you're fat. We get it. You're fat. You can't hide it. Like you're fat. You're fat. We are fat ass bitches, And it's like we are in year 2 of a pandemonium, and we're so worried about our body size. Like y'all really withheld white supremacist body standards through a pandemic. Like, how are y'all not tired? Because I am. The other bad big bitches are exhausted, and it's just so tiring. It's so tiring knowing that, like, there's all these, like, sexual stereotypes about you that, no one gives a better head than a big girl, and it's like, okay, you're right, like, we do, but why do you only see us as that? You love us, but you're so afraid to admit that shit in public, because we, fat black and brown people are seen as dirt that you just walk on, that you shit on, that you piss on and spit on, It's like y'all treat us like we're not worthy of anything, but then you turn the fuck around and like, why don't you have more confidence? You're beautiful. All this. No, I know that, but do you know that? Do you understand that I can work on seeing myself as all of those amazing things that I know I am? But if the world does not show you any validation, any representation, it's so hard to do that. It's so hard to do that. It's terrible. But I know that I'm gonna find love. I know that I love myself. I know that the child inside of me that will always be there, that's so damaged right now, will heal one day. I will fully heal one day. And it will always be okay. It's not okay right now, but one day it will be okay. And I'm gonna keep praying for peace. I'm gonna keep praying for love. I'm gonna keep relying on my community. I'm gonna keep calling my girls and just be like, what's up, bitch? What's the fucking tea, ho? I'm gonna keep being myself. I'm gonna explore my gender. I'm gonna just, you know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna fuck no more white people. I'm not dating no more white people. It's bad for my mental health, But everything else I am gonna do, I'm gonna just find new ways to enrich my life, enrich my spirit, how to break generational curses so when I have kids, I don't pass this shit on to them. How to manage bipolar disorder, how to manage my eating disorder, how to find fun ways to keep working out, and find new positions to throw it back in. Like, there's just so many things I need to learn, want to learn how to do. I want to learn to make new masterpieces. I want to go to Greece and I'm gonna do all of those things, and also I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna maintain my community. I'm gonna grow my family, and my life is gonna be something. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm gonna claim that it's gonna be beautiful because I'm not living like this no more. And I don't want to sound like I have toxic positivity or none of that shit, but I can't do this. I refuse to live a life like this. I would literally rather die than continue living with all of this trauma. And I don't know how to get rid of it, but we're gonna figure this shit out. want to know how. I want to know how. I want to know how. Yeah, so that's all the first half of the album, which the first track is called Just Because I Have a Dick Doesn't Mean I'm a Man, which is me like ranting to the world. The second is Inner Child, which is usually with me and my friend Jesse's drummer, Jesse Cox, amazing composer, drummer, check him out. So that track is inspired by John Coltrane's Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, which is a lot about John Coltrane's childhood and how he uses all of these aspects of screaming and crying on the saxophone and hymns and things like that. So I was really inspired by that. And the hymn my grandma still sings all the time. That was her grandma singing. It's Down in the Valley. So so that was just played underneath that and on the bassoon and things like that. And I think the toughest thing is when you like meet new people and stuff. Something that kind of always comes up is like, well, how was your childhood? Because I can see it, you know. But I think that has been like one of the most difficult things to like, you know, still get through, because you're an adult for now, but you're a child forever. You know, you will always live with those first years of your life. But then after that, it was 72 Hours, which is purely electronic, and it's based off of the 72-hour psychiatric hold. So I just wanted to like make a world that feels like my form of dissociation, my form of manic episode, my form of depressive episodes. That bipolar is just like the gift that never stops giving. So just kind of bring people through my world of that sense. But a project I've been working on for a while is How to Breathe While Dying, which is kind of the opposite of everything. And saying earlier in the track of like not wanting to practice toxic positivity, but I think there is a fine line of like wanting to have a good life and forcing yourself to have a good life. So I want to have a good life. I want to have a long life. I want to have children. I want to have a partner. Like I want to get married, do all that. And to do that, I have to be alive. So I've had to find ways to be happy, to be grounded, and all of these things. So I wrote this piece for many, many bassoons, and it just kind of goes through different gospels of my life. You'll hear different bassoon comes in with kind of the same melody, but also different, and it's inspired by Oprah Winfrey's Gospel Brunch of 2005, where they all sung the same gospel hymn, but each superstar was, you know, just different, and that's kind of what took me away. And writing and ending like I've never really wrote before. So yeah, so this is How to Breathe While Dying.
and it is impossible to do alone because it's a whole combo of really good friends. So I kind of made a little different arrangement of it with Eartha Kitt. She has that iconic interview where she's talking about compromise for a man, like, absolutely not. And I absolutely agree. And one of my best friends in the whole wide world lives in Providence, and it is Willie. And yeah, sorry, hey. So Willie knows all about my ex, and I am also going to talk about my ex while I'm here. So it was quite the wild relationship, to put it best. And what I learned out of it is that no dick is worth your peace. It is not. You know, it really isn't. And it took a year and a half, so. I mean, you were there for all of it. So it took a long time for me to wake up and really realize, like, okay, no, like, my life is going really well. Like, why am I holding on to this negative energy? And it just, love is difficult, love is hard, and that's what came up with the title of, like, well, why is toxicity so yummy? What draws, not just me, but other people? Like, why do many people stay with their exes? And there's something good there, you know? Is a little toxic relationship kind of fun sometimes? It is. Should it? It should not be. But it is what it is. I think, not to embarrass anyone, but I feel like we've all been in toxic relationships. So yeah, you don't have to raise your hands, it's okay. I see it in your eyes. But yeah, so this is that piece, and it's, I don't know, love is just, it's just really, really difficult.
A man comes into my life and you have to compromise. Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me.
But when making that piece, I kind of wanted it to feel like we're on the beach together, like talking like really drunk and just having the talk of, we don't need men, you know? So, yeah, it's what it is. But yeah, so that's essentially the whole album, and there's a couple more tracks in there that's hard to do solo, but at the end of everything, when I go to bed, or just at the end of a week, or even tonight when I'm on the way home from the show, I like try to think about, okay, what could have gone better? I think that's a natural human thing to do. What could I have done better today as a person, as a musician, all these things, but I have really learned to give myself grace for almost everything in my life, because we live in such a culture of white supremacy and capitalism, and those two things go hand to hand, and it's hard to breathe. So my body is tense all the time, it's tired all the time, I'm tired all the time, but I have found peace in my life, and I have found grace for myself, and for my community, for my friends, for my best friends, you know, and all of these things, and it's just, I don't know, life is really short, and I don't exactly know, like, what is gonna come tomorrow or the next day, but I just, like, never wanna go to sleep with any regrets, because, like, what if I die in my sleep tonight? I'm like, oh, fuck, you know, so I just don't, I don't want to have any regrets, so long story short. But thank y'all so much, and this is the last track, and I just ask you, you know, if we just all sit, and for like 2 minutes and listen to all of this. Yeah, so that's my album. It's out in the world on Bandcamp. Go buy it. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and keep in touch on Instagram or anything. But thank y'all so much for coming. I hope you have a great weekend. Yeah.
I'll just add a quick conclusion here. We are so happy to have you join. Great show. Really enjoyed it. Lovely. If you like this type of thing, come out again a week from tomorrow, which is the Verdant Spring Soiree, which is here at 7 p.m. on April 9th with a wonderful smattering of music. There's a greenish poster right in the hall. You can look. Or if you like this particular series as well, come out next first Friday of the month, May 6th, for the wonderful Rachel Devora doing electronics and analog and all kind of cool stuff. So give it up once more for Joy Guidry.